Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Gabe, and welcome to Casual Coffee Talk, where ideas, insights, stories, and experiences are collected and shared with you. Now, in today's topic and episode, have you ever heard this famous line, dance like no one's watching? Or even this one, march to the beat of your own drum. So, in taking those two ideas and even throwing this one in, you know you're good when you can teach it to somebody. Any skill or talent that you might be acquiring. And in tandem with that, we have dance instructor. Woo, yeah. But more specifically, Zumba. So on today's show, I have my friend Craig with me. Welcome to the show, Craig, and we are going to go and answer some questions about what it takes and what it's like to be a Zumba instructor. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Gabe. I appreciate that intro. That's awesome.
Yeah, of course. I got to make it special for you, man.
I
Definitely.
appreciate that.
Of course.
All right.
You know, it's this is just a side note, but believe it or not, listeners, this is actually the third time Craig and I are recording our interview. It's ridiculous. We just had a little bit of technicalities, but hey, you know what? Craig's a champ. He's doing this again, and we're going to have a good episode. Isn't that right?
Yes, and we're going to make sure that this does not happen again.
Yeah, seriously. You know, I mean, we can only bring up so much energy in so many episodes of all saying the same thing, right?
And I just had a coffee just a while ago. About an hour ago as of this episode.
Hey, that's fine.
So that way I don't sound like I'm about to die, but you know, it's all good.
Hey man, you know, don't faint on the show.
Yeah, no problem.
I know you got a lot of energy, Craig, but you know, energy on top of more energy. Keep it pinned under.
Yeah. And by the way, if that sounded a little bit faded, that means that the paper just probably touched the speaker. So
yeah, it's fine. You're good.
Okay. Awesome. You know, we're gonna.
So first thing, you know. Oh, thanks. So just right off the bat, what exactly is Zumba?
Okay, Zumba is.
And yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. Zumba is a dance fitness program that's mixed with Latin and world rhythms. It was started in 2001 by Beto Perez, who
Mm-hmm.
I had the honor of dancing with back in I want to say like 2015. Yes, 2015.
It's
back
been
in,
a while then.
Yeah. Back in the Zumba Instructors Academy in LA.
Oh, okay.
That was the only time I danced with him. But yeah, it was it started off as a simple program, and then later on it just became popular.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people became instructors.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of which have become my friends.
Okay.
And
very cool.
you know, that's I guess that's about as good of an explanation that I can give to you, but I can also add that anybody can do Zumba. Like, you know, whether you're experienced in dance or not. We're not trying to look for stars or anything like that. You know, we're here to bring together everybody. We unify by dance.
Oh, that's very cool. Very
Thank you.
cool. So, what would you say it is a dance program of some sort, right?
Yes, sir.
So, as far as the dance itself, though, is it like hip hop or I don't know, what kind of style is it exactly?
It's all those things. Like, you know, it's hip hop, it's Latin, it's cumbia, it's reggaeton, it's merengue, it's all those. It's soca. It's pretty much every style. Mm-hmm. But you know what really makes Zumba accessible is the fact that you could do all these repetitions and everything, so everybody can follow along. Mm-hmm. It's not like one of those dance classes in which, like, you know, the moves don't have a whole lot of repetition. There's always moves that will be changing on the spot. So, but this is like, you know, pure repetition.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So it's easy. It's what I'm getting is that it's dancing, but it has some sort of patterns to it.
Yes, patterns, repetitions. And we also add a little fitness to it.
Oh, okay, got it. Just wondering, how did you actually get into Zumba and why? How long you been doing it for?
Okay, I started this journey 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It's already past my 5th anniversary as an instructor. So
hey, congrats.
Thank you very much. And funny thing is, you were a part of that story. Now listen up, viewers. You're gonna want to hear this.
Oh boy.
Now I'm gonna condense this as much as possible. Now I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue on my membership of being fit. Then I was, let me just say, sweet talked. Not in that kind of way. Don't use your imagination. But I was talked into it by Gabe, and he does prove a good point that, like, would you rather see yourself transform and be that person, or are you just gonna stay in that same place that you were, like, for the past couple of years I've known you? So I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. So as I was going around, I started to see Zumba again after like a year, after I tried out like my first Zumba class in years at Z Fitness and Dance.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found out that Zumba was being taught over at Being Fit, I started taking my first class, and that was with Melissa Sevrid. I don't know if I pronounced that wrong. I might have butchered that name.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, Mel. But she was the first to suggest that I should be an instructor. So I was like, I don't know. That's I might not be able to lead people very well.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got back to Z Fitness and Dance at the same time, I started to realize, like, and I saw all these people follow this guy named Francisco. He used to live here in San Diego, but last I heard, he moved up to Maine. So
Okay.
I was impressed with the way that he moved, and then I saw another male instructor named Justin Lai. He now does figure skating and competition dance. So it was through everybody in Z Fitness and Dance, like Chanel, Carla, and a couple of my other friends, Mariella, all those guys inspired me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And then before then, I decided it was there and then. I decided, okay, I'll go for it, but I don't have much money for it. I didn't have a good job.
Yeah.
So like my mom decided to pay for my certification.
Okay.
Thanks, Mom, love you. And I was the only guy in that entire certification, out of like all these females and everything. So, right when I got that, we were already getting started. Justin and Aaron got me started with my first 15 songs. Eventually, I got a job. I met some longtime friends, and the rest is history.
And here we are 5 years later.
Yes.
Talking about how you teach Zumba. That is so cool.
Oh yeah. No matter how many times I wanted to hang my shoes up, due to like some crazy stuff that goes behind the scenes, like with my life. It feels like Zumba will not do that, and I love this program a lot.
Yeah, I would have to say that dance is a really big part of you, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, since I was very little. And then I eventually gained my sense of rhythm at 16 through a small Dance Revolution.
Great game. Great
yeah.
game. Really, really fun.
Oh yeah.
Gotta love it. A lot of good
yeah.
memories with that too. Definitely. Yeah. This is just a side note, but you were you actually did a little bit of Dance Revolution, like competition-wise too.
Yeah, only twice. And the video is still up on YouTube from my first tournament debut back in 2004. It was uploaded by one of my good friends, and it was recorded by another good friend of mine, Vicky Nguyen, God rest her soul.
Yeah.
It's funny because I look back at that video. I was still 19, going on 20 at the time. I'm 34, gonna be 34. So the thing is, when I look at that, I was like, oh my God, was I really fearful of moving my hips? And when I finally did, it was like, wow, okay, cool. And then I grew accustomed to it like those many years later. And,
Yeah.
I still credit that game to this day for helping me gain that sense of rhythm. Because back in the days, people said, you got the moves, but you ain't got the rhythm.
Okay.
And I finally got it. Can't believe it took me that long.
Hey, but dance is something that you really, really love too.
Oh, gosh.
Which it makes things a hell of a lot
Yes.
easier if you're willing to go and learn. I mean, when it comes to any talent or skill in developing it,
Oh, yeah.
passion is definitely something that plays a large part into how fast and you learn something, as well as how long you're willing to keep at it in order to get something right. Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. So just wondering, as far as Zumba itself and being an instructor, what's a typical workday look like for you as a Zumba instructor?
A typical workday, let's see. It would look like me just walking in, like with my Zumba wear, and then just seeing like at least 4, maybe 10 out of my whatever students will walk in later. I'm just like testing things out. I'm practicing my one routine that I'm still in the works for.
Yeah.
And the moment everybody comes in, whatever problems I had in my head, all gone. Because
Right when the music plays.
yes, right when the music plays, everything just feels like a party, a show.
Really?
And it's hard to describe that, describe feelings like that. All I can say to you is it's an amazing feeling that you can't put like words can't even describe it. But that's like a typical workday. It's like a celebration of life. That's what it's like.
Cool. Very neat. What about for people who I guess they've never danced before, or they might be a little scared that someone might say, okay, well, hey, why are you in this class? You don't even dance that well. I know that there's a lot of people who are self-conscious about them dancing. So, I mean, as far as Zumba, I mean, do you have any thoughts about people who are first-time Zumba goers, I guess, or thinking about it?
Okay, you know what? I've been saying this all along. Like, you don't have to learn how to dance. Okay, kind of like what we said, what we mentioned just a while ago. You don't have to know how to dance or something like that. If you just want to come in and have a good time, come in and have a good time. We're not asking you to do everything we're doing here.
Yeah.
Like, I even had like a student who doesn't really do any of my routines. She does kind of like her own thing, and she's just like moving according to the beat of her own drum.
Oh yeah.
And there are some that just, they just do side steps and everything, basic steps. Like, if you don't know how to dance, that really isn't a problem. You'll eventually, yeah, you'll go there, but you know what? That's not the whole point of it. If you just want to have fun, burn off the calories and all that other stuff, then you know what? It doesn't matter if you can dance or not. I welcome anybody to try this at least once.
Okay.
Any Zumba class. There are many different instructors out there, and and to be honest, we'll welcome anybody as long as you stay safe, as long as you keep it positive, and as long as we know that you're having fun.
So fun is like the number one priority.
Oh
when it
yeah,
comes to Zumba.
like exercises don't have to be about like being like dead serious or like intense and everything. Hey, there is a bit of intensity in Zumba. A bit, a bit might, but no, there's a lot. But the thing is, we make it fun.
Yeah.
We forget that it's a workout.
Yeah.
So and I want new people to walk in knowing that they are amongst good company, that there are no judgments, and if there is any among the students, you know what? Take that negativity outside.
Yeah, only good vibes here, right?
Exactly. I mean, like, I don't care if you can dance or not. Just have fun. be safe. Again, refer back to option A. Have fun.
Fun.
Yep, exactly.
There we go. That is really neat. Yeah, so I guess as far as just even being just part of the class, even if someone can't follow the moves exactly, as long as they're enjoying themselves, that's what really matters.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So I was wondering, what exactly do you need as far as like education to be a instructor? Are there any special qualifications, or what? How can someone get started in becoming a Zumba instructor?
Okay. Wow. Education.
Like, how did you do it?
Well,
The more specific parts of it.
Well, like, I already knew how to dance, not as well as some of the pros, but but the
you
thing
got
is,
some moves, yeah.
but the thing is, how to certify yourself as a Zumba instructor. There are instructings everywhere in your area. In my cases, San Diego, back to where the old location of Z Fitness and Dance was located at in Flanders. If you go to Zumba.com and there is an option to find instructor trainings. Just type up your state or your zip code, and there's bound to be something out there for you.
Okay.
It will be in studios, gyms, and probably I heard that some have been held in hotel lobbies and all that.
Oh wow.
Not like one of those ballrooms or something like that.
Yeah,
Ballrooms.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
but
that's fine.
but that as far as experience goes, I'd say experience not necessary, but just as long as I honestly don't know how to answer that part over there. I don't want to cheapen Zumba's process,
Yeah.
or anything like that,
Of
nor
course.
lie about it. But I have seen some people who have been certified. Some haven't even started their own classes yet due to not finding any gyms that are hiring. So it was hard on me when I tried to find a job.
Yeah.
I even tried to apply for Being Fit. They keep insisting that they're not looking for instructors.
Oh, we have a lot.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. It's exactly what
Yeah.
you just said. It depends on if there's any space.
I mean, yes, it is pretty important that you have some dancing experience here and there.
Yeah.
You got to learn. If you have that kind of experience, that will aid you. That will aid you in Zumba. But and especially if I'm not really one for fitness as far as doing all these crazy moves like squats or whatever. I can still do arm extensions and
Yeah.
doing things for your legs
Yeah,
and
the
all
very
that jazz.
basic move.
Yes, exactly. But there's really not. I don't want to say there's not really much of a qualification, but I do want to say if you know dance, hey, you gotta. If you know how to dance, then great. You're on your way. But I have met some people who weren't even dancers before Zumba. And then they would turn out to be amazing
Wow.
instructors. And I'll be like, hey, you've danced before, huh? I was like, actually, no, I have not. And and I was like, you're lying. He was like, no, I really wasn't a dancer. So there you go. If anybody can be an instructor. I mean, it does help to get dance lessons, but it's I have heard about people who have not been dancers from the beginning,
Yeah.
but they would wind up freaking awesome, and I would find myself going to their classes either way.
Oh.
I hope that inspires people out there.
Got it. But I was just wondering, do you guys have is there a site to go and apply to, to get a certification or something, or is there a particular process that you need to go through, or it differs from area to area?
I've already mentioned it already. Go to Zumba.com. There is an option that says that that there are instructor trainings, and you can just search it up on the web, like, based on which state you're from.
Yeah.
Like, from in my cases, I looked up San Diego, and it just so happens the old location of Z Fitness and Dance turned out to be the one
Okay.
for my certification, and my educational specialist at that time was Elisa Stone,
Okay.
who is now my Zumba mama or Zumba mommy.
Zumba mommy.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
man,
She
that's
is.
cool.
She is wonderful.
Right on, right on. That's
Yeah.
very, very cool.
Yeah.
When it comes to Zumba and I guess developing a routine, what exactly does it take to, I guess, make a routine?
Here's the thing. You can make your own original routines to, like, some of your favorite songs, whatever they may be. Like, just as long as it's danceable, and that the beats per minute are balanced. But you can learn other people's routines, and it wouldn't be a big deal, because you know
Okay.
how in dance, if you do somebody else's routine and everything, and then you with and like you just show it off and everything and claim it as your own, then consider your license as an artist revoked. With Zumba, like, yeah, like, well, out of common courtesy, and I know people do this, but we tend, for me, I tend to credit whoever created that routine. Like, I would get stuff from YouTubers, like, Live Love Party. Shout out to them, by the way. They're one of my favorite groups of all time.
Okay.
And
Very cool.
there will be, like, Grupo Z2. There will be all these YouTubers that will upload routines to like Zumba routines to whatever hot song is on the radio, whether like, all over the globe. So
Yeah.
the process of preparing for a routine is, like, it's more than just like, okay, I see a video of somebody, cool, now I know it. No, it's more of like, okay, for me, I have to see, like, okay, how did he do that, or how did she do that? Okay, great. Let's go with that. But then, like, if there's like a certain move that I don't like,
Yeah.
I'll change it up. And
Okay.
I'll just be like, okay, let's try this instead. Like, to kind of simplify it so everybody can follow.
Okay.
So, prepping a routine, like, especially like original routines, some people don't have a problem with it, but for me, it takes a lot of time. Like, it took me like at least a few years to come up with Every Little Step by Bobby Brown. So I had to use some of his moves and dumb them down for my Zumba class.
Okay.
I could, like, that's the beauty of doing routines, like, and preparing for them. Like, it doesn't matter which moves you use, as long as they're doable and that they are safe.
Yeah, that's definitely important. Safety is
Yes.
pretty high up there.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
A little bit.
But what would you like, what would you like to know in your context? I can.
No, I was just curious about the kind of work that's, I guess, done in order to prepare for a class. But you pretty much answered it.
To prepare for me to prepare for a class is like, just, I'd like to use this term, sleep on the song. Now, I don't
Sleep on the song.
like, one of the things like, that's one of the things that I always say. However, that's I don't mean it like literally. I mean it like, okay, listen to the song several times over, count the beats, watch how the other dancers do it, how the other instructors do it.
Yeah.
Or, like, if you should create your own routine, just, create it in your head, like, keep listening to it. But obviously when you go to sleep, just turn off the dang song, because you can't just, no, don't do that. Just, like, live with the song. Like, live with the song for a brief moment. Come up with inspiration from different routines. You can look at other people's routines, and it doesn't have to be for that specific song.
That's true.
That's how I prepare. I would look at moves that could work You know, I could look at like a single double formation, like a certain dance move that could work, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll incorporate this, and I'll just experiment to see what I could do, and and if it works, boom, we're good. That's how I prepare my routines. Everybody does it. Every instructor does different things.
Yeah.
To prepare for their class. Not
Okay.
everybody's the same. That's just
very
how
true.
I do it. This is how I do it.
Well, it seemed to be working.
Thank you.
Definitely seems to be
Thank
working.
you.
You know.
But sometimes, but like a lot of times, I'll just like look at YouTubers or just go to my Zin account to look at the official stuff from Zumba, and then I would teach it to my class.
Got it. On that note, would you say that individual style is important?
What do you mean by that? I'm sorry.
Because otherwise, I know that there might be some instructors that I don't know if they like to do more turns, or someone likes to use their arms way more than someone has really, really fast movements as opposed to another who's more easygoing.
Okay, now
I
that
was
you
just curious about how important, I guess, personal style as an instructor is when teaching in class.
that is a very good question, and the answer is yes. It is it is important to have your own flavor. Like, yeah, you could use somebody else's routine, but put your own personality into it. Like, you can do your own thing.
Yeah.
You can dance however you like. You can do all these crazy things, but make sure that that it is appealing to both you and your students.
Yeah.
And to stick with the formula of, like, the repetition and the tradition of what Zumba holds. And it's not, yes, there's all the positivity and all that
Yeah.
other stuff, and you know what, I am not, it also you gotta stay true to the dance formula. Like, you want to make sure everybody follows. Now, one of the best advices that I was given to by my friend Charlie was that, if you can't do it, neither will your students. So don't even try it. And so you always want to, like, do moves that you'll be able to pull off. And if you can't do it, everybody's gonna screw. If you can do it, everybody's gonna dance with you. So that's my entire take of it.
So it sounds like there's kind of like a balance as far as difficulty and style too.
Yes.
You kind of have to follow, but you still want to keep the integrity of what Zumba is too.
Yes, but
Okay.
still keeping your flavor. Everybody's style is different. Like, we would dance the same styles and the same steps, but our own flavor and personality is all in there.
Oh.
There's nothing phony about it. Like, some people will do routines to, like, Firehouse, and they'll and like the way they move and the way they present the moves, it's their own style of movement.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to have your own style, is because, like, don't try to copy anybody else. Just don't try to copy the mannerisms or way of movement or capturing the crowd.
Yeah.
Do it how you would do it.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool.
I mean, every instructor that I've encountered is unique, and they have their own special charm, and they have something that makes the entire room just pop with excitement.
But it all reflects the instructor too.
Yes.
So everyone has like a different kind of energy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, neat. So this is on a side note. How would you describe your style?
Explosive energy.
Explosive energy. That sounds exciting.
I mean, like, I do act silly, and then sometimes I look like I am putting on a show for everybody. But the thing is, that's just it. It's for them. It's not me. It's not for me. I take a lot of myself out of the equation. Like, because, like, there will be some people that will just make it all about them.
Yeah.
But then, like, you gotta think about who you're doing this for. This is for this for the students. They could be having a bad day, whatever day they're going through.
Yeah.
Good day, good or bad. It's I feel that, you know, as an instructor,
Yeah.
I felt that I want to use my energy to get them to laugh, to cheer, to smile, to like, you know, sing along if possible. Very
If they
rarely,
know.
very rarely does anybody ever sing along with me, but I do. But people do chant and people do those chants with me, which is close to singing, but yeah.
Hey, it shows that they're engaged and they're with you.
Exactly, and you
Yeah.
want to engage with the students. Like,
Uh-huh.
sometimes my back is turned to them, but I will always turn. But sometimes I have a habit of turning around to them, making sure that they got it. Like, you know, they ain't got and they ain't gotta. They ain't, like I said, they ain't gotta do the moves correctly. Just don't bump into each other. No arguments. You know, you're already good, and I like you just the way you are.
Aw, that's sweet. Do you have any, I guess, in your career of doing Zumba as an instructor, do you have any, I guess, moments or that really, really stick out to you?
Oh,
I'm sure you got plenty.
like I mentioned, you know, being able to dance with the man that started it all, Beto Perez.
Uh-huh.
You know, he was the founder of Zumba, as I mentioned, and
Yeah.
that was like one of the biggest highlights of my Zumba career. Like being able to dance the man that started it all.
Yeah.
And let's see, having my first master class with my friend Imelda
Yeah.
for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And we haven't done a master class in a while, so I really hope to do one with her soon. You know, being able to meet up with so many of the educational specialists, you know, like Loretta Bates, Cass Martin, Steve Boat, and overall everything. Let me just say this, okay? There are no specific good moments. Okay, I can tell you like about the time that I finally danced on stage in the beach or whatever.
Oh,
I can
wow.
tell you all that. I can tell you all that stuff and say like those are the greatest. But really, the greatest moment is every time I step into a class, into an event.
Wow.
Those are my best moments.
That is really, really cool. Very, very neat. I'm still trying to figure out how you actually got to dance with the creator.
You know, I paid for my ticket for the Zumba Instructors Academy, and we danced with many of the educational specialists. We learned like a lot of the history behind the dance styles and all that other jazz, and that's been a great experience. You know?
Okay, and then you somehow was able to dance with Beto Perez?
Yeah, and it's a funny thing, okay? And the funny story how that went was, I was with these two people. Their names were Alfred and Iris. Two cool people. Like, you know, I have not seen them since the academy, and you know, I still remember them. Like, you know, I still have them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Unless if one of them unfriended me. Hey, I'm just kidding. But anywho, though, we were not in the front row. Let's not pretend over here. Okay. You ever been to the Los Angeles Convention Center?
Yes, I have.
Okay. If you remember the Petrie Hall, that's where we were. That big area where like events were being held at a lot of times. So there's a large stage. Okay. I was just jumping around being, well, me. And, you know, I wasn't paying attention. And I think Beto wanted me up on stage. He was pointing at me. For God's sakes, I don't know how he could be able to see me in that sea of people. And then
I imagine it was just like.
And then I was like, okay, like I was just dancing, and then like I think it was either Iris or Alfred, they tapped me. He's like, dude, he was talking about you. He wants you upstage. I was like, no, are you serious?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, ah! Like they were being serious. And then like, Beto was waiting for me. And then I went upstairs and the guy moved me around several times to position our formation. And I even, right now it was me and some other girl. I forgot what her name is for the life of me. I mean, the name will pop up eventually.
Pop up. Probably after the
Oh yeah, her name was Brandy. Brandy.
Oh, there you go.
She and I we went up over there and somebody somehow took a picture of us on stage, and then and that picture has been one of my top favorites of all time, and I can always look back at that time and just reflect back at that time. That was it was a moment I will never ever forget.
Wow.
Like, I know I've said that, a couple of questions ago, but, that is one of the coolest moments ever. Being able to be noticed by Beto through that large sea of people all the way at the end. It's like, what are the odds?
Exactly.
Like, how often can you say that?
Not a lot of people can.
See, like, I wasn't even in the front row. And I'm like, huh?
But that is really, really cool. Just being recognized like that.
Yeah.
Just that recognition. That's that's quite an experience. And I would say it probably helped motivate you to continue on doing Zumba, didn't it?
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, it's moments like this that made me feel like It made me, like I said, you can't really describe it. It is the greatest feeling of all time. You can never, I could never look back at that thing and be like, meh, no big deal. No, I can always look back at that time and be like, that was freaking amazing. That was the best.
Yeah, that is really, really cool.
These days, Beto is staying out of. For all I know, I haven't really seen or heard about him coming to California or Los Angeles. But if given the chance again, I would love to be. In one of those Zen volumes. You're in a DVD or you're featured in there with the other dancers.
Yeah.
Now that would be pretty cool. The Zen accounts, if you have a Zen Now account, which is and then you subscribe for a digital version, you get you can download choreography. Okay. I have seen some of my friends go up over there among one of the crowds, and some instructors that I learned from. Some of them have a small appearance, or yeah. And I want to be up there one day.
Hey, I totally think you could.
Let's hope so. That's another thing in my bucket list.
You got the blessing from the big man himself.
Well, thank you. I don't know if you'll remember me when I see him again.
Oh, you just have to show him your picture, and he'll be like, "Oh, you're the guy that I saw all the way in the back."
We'll see. Beto meets a lot of people, so.
Yeah, well, we'll have to find out. That's the thing. We're gonna find out later down the line.
Sure. Yeah.
Very neat. Very neat. For anybody who's looking to be, a dance instructor or even get more into dance, do you have any special tips, advice, recommendations for them?
I'm not really that good at giving advice. The only thing I can say is, if you have something that you love doing, in which these cases, if it's Zumba, whether it's dance or whatever, if it makes you happy, go for it. My advice is, if this is what you love, work hard. Think about your students, but also think about how much fun you'll have and how much fun they will have. When you make those routines, when you whatever choreography you choose from YouTube or in your Zumba website, or whatever original choreography you're gonna cook up, do it with your students in mind. And yes, you can do it because you like it, and then this is something that you always want to try. But you also want to think about you also want to think about like your students, because they are what make this class, and you are the and you will be leading them to a life of happiness and empowerment. What I do is I empower others through dance, and like that is what us instructors do. So my advice to anybody that's contemplating, this is what you really want to do, go for it. And if you want to go for other certifications in Zumba, yeah, definitely do that. You want to go as far as wanting to become like a jammer or an educational specialist, go for it. My advice is just do it. Yeah. Like I mean, like that may not be the best answer in the world, but I don't see why you can't.
Hey, a lot of people need to be told just to go and do things, because otherwise they might be thinking about it in the back of their head, but it's just state.
Let me put it to you this way, okay? I'm glad that this thing is not a thought. It's later on it manifested into like, oh my God, I want to do this. I want to be. I want to like dance on stage. I want to share my love and my passion for dance. And just so everybody will feel the same joy I feel every single day. I turn on that music and I'm just like dancing with nobody around. And then like some, because that's all I can pretty much say at this point, because there's nothing to it but to do it. Just like don't whatever doubts you have in your head, it may be hard to get rid of them, but you will. I've had doubts at the back of my head. I thought, man, I would be a terrible instructor. Nobody would like me. I'll mess up. I'll be responsible for many injuries. But I went in there thinking, okay, I'm in. Let's see what I can do. And then like 5 years later, I am still doing the same thing, and I'm still talking about the same dang thing. And that's becoming a better instructor, and like instructing a lot of students every week.
Yeah.
I mean, like my goal is to just simply share my love for of dance.
Yeah.
Like whether or not you know how to dance, I am not gonna laugh at you. And if you want to be an instructor, dude, I will encourage you to do it, because I would love nothing more than to see a lot of new instructors, so like I could support them to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
We all gotta stick together and like help one another, inspire one another.
Of course. That's awesome, and I think that's very key as far as, at least in my opinion, making the world a better place, helping inspire other people to become better versions of themselves.
Absolutely. I'm proud of doing things like that.
Yeah, and I definitely think you should be. If you weren't, I'd be like, what's the matter with you, Craig?
Nah.
Well, that is all the formal questions I have. Bonus question, what do you like to do in your free time, and why is that important to you?
Well, obviously alone time is important, so let's get
Yes.
that out of the way. But then some of the stuff that I do is not really that important. Like,
Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be important, but what do you like to do and why? As far as, I guess, hobbies or...
if it, like, yeah, I do collect, yes, even in my 30s, there are people older than me that do it. I collect action figures.
It's fine. People collect vases.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
People love to
Or
collect
like,
plants, so no, you're fine.
And like,
man.
yeah, every now and then I'll play like card games, like not like poker or anything like that, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Vanguard. I'm not really that good.
It's fine. I still play Magic of the Gathering.
Yeah, it's all good. And I also love to play video games, mostly like a lot of retro stuff. Even though I'm not really good when compared to a lot of like people who have been in competitions, I love playing Street Fighter and any kind of fighting game. Like of course, like being a huge platforming fan, I'm a huge fan of Mega Man, and now I'm playing Mega Man 11 like crazy.
It's come a long way.
Oh yeah, and also what I like to do is even though yeah I'm keeping Zumba out of the equation, I can't keep that out, but I still do play Dance Dance Revolution every now and then whenever I have the time to do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will use that as inspiration for like new music and what and for like new choreography that I can cook up.
Oh, okay.
And also I also just enjoy just being being in the company of good friends, like real friends, none of the fake ones. Like I love chilling with all my closest friends, especially my family as well.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes my family can drive me nuts at times. I
Well, some people do feel that way with their families. Yeah.
So yeah, if so those are my hobbies. I'm a gamer. I also in my spare time sing. I don't even though I'm not really that good at singing.
It's okay.
And
it's like that phrase: dance like no one's watching, sing like no one's listening. Right?
Yep, and like and of course there's the occasional toy collecting.
Yes.
Yes, and I love watching stuff on Netflix. Like hell, I even go as far as watching the old Star Trek, which is still one of my
cool.
favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, live and prosper, right?
Live long and prosper.
There you go.
Well, you got the Vulcan salute down.
Oh boy, that's so good, so good. Well, that is everything on my end. Do you have any final words to share with our listeners?
Final words.
Yeah.
The only thing I got is live your life. You only got once, so don't waste it. Have fun, and don't listen to all the noise and the nonsense. Just do you. You're one of the. You know that you are the best, so you know how great you are. So go out there and show them.
Yeah, and everyone has their own sense of greatness. Yeah.
But don't get too big-headed. All right?
Well, you heard the man. All right. Well, thank you so much, Craig, for being on the show. Again, this is your host, Gabe, and that is our